Guys, it's Simon here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're doing another manga review. Today we're looking at this anthology manga, The Seven Little Sons of the Dragon by Ryoku. Now, this is the creator of Delicious in Dungeon, so all of this is going to be maybe not similar to Delicious in Dungeon, but it's going to have a similar flavor, right? There's going to be mythological elements, and this one particularly feels more like a magical realism type of set of stories. So, you know, your mileage may vary there. I'm not necessarily a big fan of anthology type stories or anthology type books. I feel like a lot of times, because the stories have to be short, they don't give you enough, right? But I thought this was enjoyable enough, and it's something I'm going to keep in my collection because I like collecting all the works by creators I like, right? So, yeah, this is published by Yen Press, as you guys can see right there. And I bought this secondhand. I got this at Half Price Books for about $7, I think. Yeah, $7.50. And it's pretty yellowed, but it's not a big deal for me. You can tell that whoever owned this before had like the top of it exposed, but not anything else, because the rest of it is quite white. It's just the top that looks a little bit messed up, but the inside is pretty good. But, you know, your mileage may vary there when you buy secondhand. It's fine. The demographic for this is teen. I'm not sure where these were released. I don't know if they even were released in magazines, but I assume they were. And the genre here is fantasy mostly, but like I said, it's like magical realism type stuff. It's like Ghibli type concepts, right? And it does not have adaptation, although with Ryoku Kui's popularity growing thanks to the adaptation of Delicious in Dungeon, these might see the light of day in some way, right? As a digital short or a single one-off episode and stuff like that. I don't know if they will, but it's a possibility, right? And the rating for this book is a 3 out of 5. It's not really my favorite. I don't really like anthologies, like I've said before. And even though I enjoyed myself reading this, I don't necessarily think I got that much out of it, right? Like, the amount of time I spent reading through it maybe was not worth the amount of enjoyment that I got out of it. So it's fine. Like, it's better than average, but it's not quite good, in my opinion. And the premise here is that it's a collection of 7 short stories. Most of them are fantasy, urban fantasy as well. So the 3 fantasy stories are Dragon Turret, Byakuroku, and Cries of the Dragon. And the urban fantasy stories are Mermaid Refuge, My God, Wolves Don't Lie, and what's that? I think it says Mutants. Let's see. Can't read my own handwriting. No, the last story that is urban fantasy is called the Inutanis. I guess that means the dog people. I'm not really sure. And I'm not going to give you the plot of all the stories. I'll just kind of give you a general understanding of the favorites that I had, right? So the 3 that I liked the most, or maybe the 4 that I liked the most out of the 7, was Mermaid Refuge, for sure. That one was pretty good. It's a story about a boy taking a mermaid to school for one day because she wants to see what it's like, right? And basically, no one really appreciates this. The mermaids have like a lesser standing in society in this world, and he's the only one that was willing to give her the chance. And so he took her to school for one day. She enjoyed herself, and then he took her back to the ocean, and he wanted to become a marine biologist so that he could learn more about her and her species, right? So this was a pretty good story. I liked it. You know, maybe it has like things similar to it like Ponyo or The Little Mermaid and stuff like that. It has kind of that vein, right? The other story that I liked was Wolves Don't Lie, which is a boy that has a werewolf disease and struggles with it. But he has a supportive mother, and he has a big misunderstanding with her about what she expects of him and what he expects of her. And the story was really about, you know, being a teenager and growing up and the misunderstandings that come with that in terms of like the relationship between you and your parents. But it had that werewolf disease element as a way to kind of bring it forward, right? That's kind of similar to stuff that we see in like Beastars or Brand New Animal, stuff like that, right? Like, it has that kind of vibe to it. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely not like a fantasy story. It has an element of fantasy to it, right? Because the character does come off like a werewolf. But the idea is really about your relationship with your parents as you grow older, right? The other stories that I liked were Byakuroku the Penniless, which is about an old man that brings his paintings to life, and through the adventure that he finds himself in with these paintings, he ends up reconnecting with his son. So I actually really like this one a lot. I think the Mermaid Refuge one was better in terms of the story, but in terms of like the messaging, Byakuroku, The Penniless, is a bit better, in my opinion. And the other story that I enjoyed was called My Child is Precious, Cried the Dragon, which is about a woman who lost her child. And she meets a prince who's looking for the dragon in order to beg it to save his father, who is the king of this country. And she guides him, but she's actually an assassin that wants to kill him because her father, or his father, was the direct reason that her son died, right? This was a really good story. It had a lot of fantasy elements to it. It had almost kind of like a mythological feel to it that I really, really enjoyed. But, you know, all the other ones were pretty good. Dragon Turret is probably the most similar to Delicious in Dungeon, but it's not one that I liked as much as the ones that I mentioned here. And generally speaking, they're all fairly enjoyable. They're just not as enjoyable as like a proper manga that has multiple issues, right? And multiple volumes to it, right? So yeah, in terms of artwork and fan service, there's pretty good art. Each kind of story had a little bit of a different style. Like you could still tell it was Ryoku Kui, but it wasn't quite the style that you expect from her if you read Delicious in Dungeon, right? Because these happen in different points of her life, and also because depending on the story, she might be changing her style, right? There's really no fan service at all in any of it, and that's kind of normal for Ryoku Kui, but the styles were pretty cool, and I enjoyed the artwork for what it was quite a lot. So to end it, the rating is a 3 out of 5. It's some pretty good stories, but not all of them were good, and so I can't give it a 5 out of 5. And because I'm already predisposed to not liking anthology type stories, this was already kind of fighting an uphill battle for me, right? So yeah, those are all my thoughts here. I mean, if you're a fan of Ryoku Kui and you want to learn more about her writing, I recommend this. If you're someone that likes anthologies, I still think this is a good recommendation as well. But if you're someone that doesn't really like anthologies and you really don't have like a super deep interest in Ryoku Kui's work that isn't related to Delicious in Dungeon, I don't necessarily think that you need to get this. So yeah, those are my thoughts here on this book, The 7 Little Sons of the Dragon. Let me know what you thought down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys next time.